I am worthless.
Hi guys, Christinablackfeather here, and decided I'm going to just do some meal prep with you guys a little bit and kind of show you where I'm going tonight. Considerations that I always have to have now is keeping an eye on the carbohydrates that I ingest. And for anyone asking or looking at this later, the shirt I am wearing says, "We're all quite mad here. Just ask the man in the box." And of course the box is the TARDIS. Can't really see it on camera too well, but it's there. Anyway, one of these things I thought I would try. This was at my local Hy-Vee store, and is ginger scallion sausage, plant-based. We are going fully plant-based tonight. Thought I'm going to give these things a try, but they look a little disturbing. I'm not going to say any more. But the meme out there with Beyond Sausage that some of you may have seen, it's a real thing. Meat-based sausages don't slide down like that. Other thing I'm going to be having is this pho flavored from Mama. I don't know how it's pronounced where it's from, but these are, this is a clear noodle soup and very mild tasting. It's a cheaper ramen. I think this is like 75 cents at my Asian store I like to go to. And the carbohydrates are only 39 grams, so little over 2 exchanges for diabetic exchanges. Then the other thing I have, I'm going to show you guys how I prepare some of the greens from my yard, which is dandelions. And they're already washed. I also have a large leaf of garlic that's growing out there. So we'll be having that, and I will be showing you what to do with the sauce for it, because dandelions are very, very bitter. So I do boil them down first, but I'm going to cut them and boil them down and then show you what I do for an Asian style sauce afterwards. So that is the plan for this whole thing. And I'm going to get to cooking and come back, and we'll work on the sauce, and we'll see how these sausages cook up. Actually, let me take those out of the package first. Let me see what these consistency of these things is. And it's 13 ounces. Let's see what's the carbohydrates on these things. 170 calories for 1 link. 9 grams of fat, saturated fat 1 gram. That's got to be coconut oil. Let's see. Water, texturized pea protein, edamame, soybeans, green onions, canola. Okay, canola oil. That's not supposed to be saturated though. Tamari, soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, binder, cornstarch, caramel. I don't see sesame oil, shiitake mushrooms, ginger puree, barley extract, calcium alginate, corn sauce? Oh, cultured cornstarch, salt and water, lime juice. I wonder where the saturated fat's coming from. Carbohydrates on one link though is 8 grams. Sodium's 400 milligrams. 2 grams of fiber in this, so essentially with the 2 grams of fiber and 8 grams of total carbohydrate, you end up looking at 6 grams of total of carbohydrate. It does have 13 grams of protein, so that's okay. But I am going to cook these up and oh dear. Oh my. I'll be cooking these all of these up and then, you know, having them in the microwave or whatever later on. You know, I've been in the yard all day. I uploaded a video earlier, 3 hours of gardening, well, planting things and weeding and putting up a small fence and everything. So I've gotten 11,000 plus steps in tonight or today since midnight, and my legs are tired. It hurts to climb the stairs. Well, they smell like soy sauce. Seriously, they smell like soy sauce. You know what? I'm going to cook these things up on camera. We might as well see. What I am afraid of is these are going to burn on the pan. So I actually have some avocado oil here, and let's put a little bit in here. And that's Wraith whining. He thinks Mommy's making something very entertaining. This may be entertaining, but not for you. Well, let's heat this baby up and see what we got. Let's turn on the right burner, maybe. I wasn't going to do these on camera, but you know what? We might as well give it a shot. I did, yesterday I made up some bratwurst I had in the freezer that I'd bought from Hy-Vee. It was Angry Orchard bratwurst, and hubby's got to try them yet, but the verdict is kind of out on that. I'm not really sure. It wasn't my favorite flavor, although you can taste the Angry Orchard cider, but I don't know, just the combination wasn't my favorite thing. Let's get this pan hot. Good Lord, Cat, you're a beggar. He's like this all the time. Bombays, they have a stomach. They want to eat everything that you eat. Everything that you eat. Where's my other tongs? Oh, geez, now he's whining. This is what I live with, you guys. It's Whiny Cat. I don't know where my other tongs went. I had 3. Sorry for banging in the cupboard here. I'm not exceedingly organized tonight, and I thought I was. Oh, there they are, right under my nose. Figures. Well, I think that might be hot enough. Well, I haven't touched these yet, so let's see what the texture is like. Oh, dear Lord. This is a sausage casing. The casing is just a slime. Turn that down a little bit. So it doesn't even hold together. And Sauce Stash is doing videos where he uses calcium alginate a lot. to, you know, to be like a casing for sausages and a binder for some of the mock meats that he creates from scratch. This is my first time really dealing with that, and I have to say I'm not overly impressed. Maybe turning this where I don't burn myself might be a good idea. Gotta admit, that would be an interesting video. Yeah, just what I thought, that had I not put oil in the pan, these would have definitely burned. I suppose I could have looked at the box to see how long you cook them. Preheat lightly oiled pan. Pan fry for 12 minutes. I wish I'd have looked at that. And they say to grill these. I don't think that these would hang together on the grill. They'd fall apart and you'd end up flavoring the coals, you know. Oh dear. I gotta admit, they smell good. They're starting to smell a little bit more than ginger now. They don't smell like soy sauce at this point. There's that ginger smell coming through, which is nice. It smells nice. Cooking was definitely better than just out of the package. But I don't know. I'm scared to touch the phone. But some of the casing, well, this mock casing just came right off right here. Those on mobile might not be able to see it, but somebody on their computer probably would. But boy, this just adheres to the pan so fast. They hung together enough with the spatula, so let's try turning them with the tongs and see what happens here. Are they gonna handle the tongs? Yeah. Okay. That's better than I expected. Okay, so while those are cooking, I'm going to shut this off, get the dandelions cut, and let these finish for their outer 12 minutes, and then we'll be right back. Well, I'm taking them off the pan. They didn't make 12 minutes. You can see the pan already had started burning. I didn't want to add more oil. I probably should have. But yeah, they came apart a little bit. Not too bad, but like I said, the alginate coating just sticks to everything. So yeah, let's get them off of here. I'm just sticking them in my noodle bowl for now because I forgot to bring a plate for them. And let's get this hot pan off of here. That poor pan. I'm going to be scrubbing. All right, so I want to taste these things without, let's not set the bowl on the hot area there. That would be really intelligent. I want to see what these taste like without adding them first. And I'm just cooking down the rice noodles, and I threw some onion in there just to kind of season the noodles a little bit. I shut them off. I haven't cooked down the dandelion yet. And you do want to boil the dandelion for, I mean, other people use it raw in salads and stuff, but I can't. And I have mouth sensitivity to just about every vegetable there is now. So I boil them down a good 10 minutes, soften them up, and it also helps eliminate some of the bitter taste as well. Another thing too, I add a little apple cider vinegar or you know, rice wine vinegar or whatever I've got handy to the cooking water for dandelions, and that also kind of helps sweeten them up a little bit and pull some of that bitter back out. But in the meantime, I'll be draining these noodles and setting them in this bowl, but I'll have to transfer these to a plate first. And I forgot a fork. So let's see if I can take the tongue and just cut this. See if it's done all the way through. Looks like it is. There's a lot of stuff in there. I think I could probably do... This looks like some of my patties that I've done before. You know, we got pieces of onion and stuff like that in there. Let's see if this is... Oh, that's a good temperature. All right. Let's see. All right. Talking with my mouth full, I kind of pocket it in one cheek like a gopher, I swear. It tastes okay. The flavor's nice. The texture's got a little bit like a TVP, textured vegetable protein texture to it. So it hangs together and it's got a decent mouthfeel to it. Not phenomenal. Out of 10, I would say that they're a 5. They're just average on flavor-wise. Of course, I don't have the alginate. I'm not going to play with the alginate and try to fake sausages. I would just make patties. And I think this is a recipe I could definitely improve on. And by far, a lot simpler ingredients. Because this is a, like Beyond and like Impossible, this is a lot of ingredients in here. And I kind of wanted to do a mock spaghetti with these things, you know, like others have done with some of these fake sausages, but I picked one because I wanted to do more Asian flavors. Plus, I didn't like the super spicy the other variety they had. And same thing with Beyond. Sausages were also super spicy, and I didn't want to get those. So I grabbed these. And yeah, they're about average. And the alginate just dripped on my hand. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little gelatin texture to it. They're okay, but that's about it. So be back in a bit with the next phase and fruits. All right, we're back. I got the dandelions boiled down, a little bit of apple cider vinegar and water, and so they're not bright green, and that's just the way I deal with them. So I'm just throwing some soy sauce in here. We got Ciuacoatl, some pure maple syrup, the real thing, which is quite sticky. I don't want to have too much of that, because even though it is less sugar than regular sugar, it can still, of course, like any sugar, mess up the blood sugar, which I'll be taking my medications tonight with this too. And then I have Moroccan seasoned gourmet rice vinegar. And even though I have the fresh garlic leaf, I did boil that down with the dandelions though. So I'm gonna throw a little minced onion in this. I'm not going to add extra salt to this because I don't want it to be salty. It's going to be salty enough with the noodles, which I already put I drain the noodles. I cut up a tomato, but the powder packets and the chili packet and the little packet of oil that came with it are already, I stirred them into these noodles. Probably cooked the noodles a little too long, unfortunately. I probably could have, their texture got a little mushy, so not the greatest. Little minced garlic. I like the dried herbs, you know, the minced garlic and the minced onions sometimes, because they concentrate the flavor quite a bit, and they end up with a little bit of umami and a little bit of salt taste to them without adding salt. So I just stir that up. Then I'm gonna drain the dandelions really quick. Over the sink, of course. Ow. Okay, don't use your fingers like that. Feather, not smirt. I'm just shaking the excess water out. And then I'm going to take the tongs and kind of press some of the water out too. I just don't want that much water in this dish. Dandelions also, if you mix them with greens like spinach, they work really well. You can season them with some, if you're cooking them separately, you can season them with some dried apples or raisins or sweetened cranberries. Again, it's a matter of countering the bitter. So I pressed some of the excess water out of these, and I'm just going to stick them in here. And just coat them. And you notice I didn't measure anything. I just kind of poured some in there. It'll have the taste I want. And you'll find the balance of the flavors that you really like. I could even go as far as doing a little cornstarch and water and, you know, make a thicker sauce, but it doesn't need it. All right, so we're just going to throw it in here. And this soy sauce mixture is, of course, going to mix with the chili stuff, too, that was in here already from the noodles. So, all right, just a second. We'll change the camera angle. Okay, and I do look like a bit of a mess. Like I said, I've been doing yard work all day. So, it is what it is. But there's our vegan dish, and I didn't leave any liquid in the noodles. I drained them, and I drained the onion that is in here, and just stirred the powders and the oil in. Let's see if I need to add any sesame to this. Little bit. Again, it depends on the flavor. This noodle is spicy. I will tell you that. I have from Cub Foods Culinary Circle toasted sesame oil. I could probably add sesame seeds on here if I wanted, but they're in the pantry and I just don't want to deal with them right now. And you kind of make sure, be careful, a little bit of this goes a long way. And I'm not even going to stir that in. So let's try that. Much better. Sesame oil really, really made a difference. course, the sausage thing cooled down a little bit. It works with the rest of this. The sausage actually tastes a little better when it cooled, and the mouth texture is a little better, but I mean, it's not meat. It clearly is not. The flavor's a little better too. It had kind of a cloying flavor to it to begin with. Of course, tomatoes are tomatoes. And let's try the dandelions. Good. A little salty, a little sweet. I can taste the minced garlic, the minced onion in there, and that fresh garlic leaf from the garden. Let's try these with the noodles. I'm so sorry I boiled those noodles down too much. Fail. Very good. The bitter is not overpowering at all. It's a nice balance. And I did chop these up pretty fine. And again, it's because I have a very sensitive mouth. I'm trying to chew. These still have kind of a really rough, stringy texture because these were older leaves. They generally say with dandelion to harvest it when the leaves are little and before the plant flowers. I don't. I mean, I eat off of them all summer long and into the fall. So sometimes, and that's part of why I cut them up a lot smaller like this, because then you're not dealing with all that fibrous plant. They can get the equivalent of kale's fibrous thing, you know, that it has. But yeah, I have found that this is my favorite way to have dandelion now. And with dandelions, the flowers are edible. I forgot to pick the flowers before I came in. I was going to throw some dandelion flowers and some purple violet flowers on here and make this really cute and pretty. And those are edible too. But I forgot, so they're not here. But the dandelion root makes a good tea, and Freely the banana girl, why I bring her up, she is insisting that dandelion is a stimulant and how it's bad like coffee and like cocoa and, you know, things like that. Dandelion actually is a great source of minerals and vitamin C and of course fiber, and it is also a potassium sparing diuretic. So if you're having dandelion tea, you are going to pee a bit, but it's not going to deplete your potassium stores like Lasix or some prescription medications will. It's not as effective, but it will do the job in a pinch, especially if you have issues with premenstrual syndrome, anything like that. It does help with the comfort level immensely, and part of that is the vitamins and the minerals in the dandelion, and it's even in the tea. So I think I can't remember the brand name, but you can find dandelion tea in stores, and you know, you can flavor it with honey, lemon, you know, and it actually does have a really decent flavor to it, and it's fairly cheap. It's an affordable have it in the cupboard for comfort thing. The way I like to have dandelion tea sometimes is that I will have it with a lot of extra water and do it just cold and steep it. You know, just put 2 packets in there and leave them in the you know, big water bottle. And I throw some apple cider vinegar in there and a little lemon juice and a little bit of honey. And that's kind of like the way I like it. I'm pretty sure I could do it with stevia now instead of honey, and it still would taste pretty good. So there we go. That's little facts about dandelion, which we all know is pretty easy to grow. It's kind of like all over the place. Don't harvest it from roadsides. Make sure if you do harvest it that it's from an area that is not sprayed, not treated with commercial chemicals, you know, weed killers, fertilizers, things like that. If you can find it where it's grown naturally, that is the best bet. So anyway, that's this video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Blessed be.